I've gained weight and I'm kind of liking it for the short term. Here's why. It's not because I was super skinny and I needed to put on some pounds. It's not that, like, you might be thinking, oh yeah, it's probably like very not noticeable. No, actually it is. I went from extra small, being extra small or small for most of my life to, in a matter of just a couple of months, going to like almost medium. But what I finally felt was being able to take up space. All my life, I have been scared of taking up space. I've not known how to take up space. As a child, I was quiet and thought I was shy. I didn't feel like I fit in. I literally would hide in the bathroom during like recesses and lunch instead of playing with kids running around on the playground. I didn't know how to take up that space. I didn't know how to just laugh and scream and say like, I'm here. And physically, I was super skinny. My poor mom, I think she was always trying to fatten me up, and I wouldn't really eat a lot. I didn't eat much at all, and I didn't really have an appetite for food. And my mom would make delicious food, and it just didn't, that wasn't something that appealed to me at the time. It wasn't because it was her food. It was, I mean, right now I would do anything to have her food made specifically by her, but it was that I just didn't feel like I had an appetite to eat anything. And sometimes I would eat McDonald's hamburgers, and it wasn't like, oh, I was trying to miss out on eating healthy food. I barely could finish a hamburger, and they were tiny back then. Yeah, I didn't have an appetite to eat much. And the thing is, when we don't have an appetite for foods, sometimes we really actually don't have an appetite for life. For just saying like, I'm here, I'm going to devour this life that I have. And I feel like over a period of time, a lot of my life, I wasn't fulfilling an appetite. I wasn't, even when I was dancing, I was scared to take up space, which is kind of ironic because the beauty of dance is the ability to not only use the space and take up space, but show people different ways in which space can be molded and appreciated and come alive. And I wasn't coming alive. I physically was scared to step and feel my weight, which is all what dance is about. It's like knowing where your weight is and using that weight to show people what you're feeling, and use the ground to hold your weight, and jump off the ground. And I was scared to use my weight. I was scared to be weighty and take up space. And there was something about the realization in the last few weeks that I have gained weight that made me feel my weight. It made me feel that my body is here, like to the point where, if you have a slimmer build, like there is certain parts of your body that don't rub against each other as much. Like I now feel my thighs rubbing against each other. I remember the moment like a couple of weeks ago where I felt this. It was probably a month ago. And I was like, what's going on? Am I walking differently? Like, because I have mobility issues, I thought it was just the way I was walking. But then I realized that my thighs were rubbing against each other in ways that they didn't before. And I went to karaoke, and a guy who I had gone on a couple of dates with prior, like 3, 4 months ago, showed up, and he basically was trying to ask me out again, and I stupidly agreed. I don't know what I was thinking, because once you decide that you shouldn't be connecting with someone, just let it go. But I gave it another chance. And in that next time that we hung out, I didn't even ask him. I don't even remember how it came up. It was just like, oh, what has changed over the time period? What have we been up to? And he said to me that, yeah, you didn't have a belly back then. I was like, that's not going to get you on another date. I definitely didn't go out with him afterwards. Not just because of that comment, but my point in sharing that story is that it has been noticeable to other people, but also definitely to myself. And I wouldn't want to be continuing to gain weight over the long haul. But for now, right now, I like that gaining weight has given me a sense of I am here. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I forgot that I'm going to be shaking this camera doing that. But I am here. Maybe the shaking up of the camera is like shaking up of me. I felt like my weight showing up on my body was like, you are here. Like, shake it up. You're alive. Have an appetite for being alive. And to be honest, I have felt a bigger appetite for food, and not unhealthy food. I still eat healthy food, but maybe more of it. But more than that, I feel an appetite for life that has been missing in my life for a long time. So this gaining weight was not just about the weight. It was about showing up in life more fully and saying yes to me being able to take up more space, and also to satiate my hunger for things that I don't know what happened. I just thought that I don't deserve to satiate that. I didn't know how to. But now I feel this appetite, this like hunger for being alive, for being here, for showing up in my full body, even when it's more than it was before. Hey, there's more of me to hold and to see. It shouldn't be a physical thing. It's actually a metaphorical thing. It's actually an emotional thing, but something about my physical body showing up in a bigger way has made me feel bigger. I have always felt really small. I am a small person. I'm a petite person. I like being small. But there was a bigness inside me that was not able to come out. And something about my body becoming bigger and actually changing the size of my clothing. And no, it's not because I shrank my clothes in the wash, or I'm, buying different, name brands or different brands that sometimes the brands, a small in one, you're medium in another. It's not that. It's the same brands. I did not shrink my clothes. I know for sure that I've gained weight. But the weight is like just reminding me to be here, to to feel me, to use the floor, to like use the space. And if I can't use it physically because I'm having mobility issues, it's saying, but you're still allowed to take up space. I have another karaoke story. Just last week on Halloween, I was out at karaoke, and this girl, much, much younger than me, she must be in her like 20s or something, she noticed that I was walking out of balance. And she said, "Are you okay?" We were both walking towards the bathroom. And I said, "Yeah, I'm okay." She said her mom has mobility issues, had a stroke, a couple of strokes. And she said she walks around with her mom holding her shoulder to help balance. She goes, "If you need to hold me, let me know," or whatever. And I said, "Oh, that's so sweet. I think I'm okay. I'm just going to take my time." Inside the bathroom, I was, just fixing up my makeup or just getting myself together. And a woman coming into the bathroom kind of hit the door against me, like the front door, the entrance of the bathroom door. And I said, "Sorry." The girl who was offering to help me, young girl, said, "Did I just hear you say sorry?" And I almost said sorry again, but I said, "Yeah, it was because I said sorry to her because I was standing right at the door entrance, so anybody that opens it could hit me." But I was making excuses for taking up space, for apologizing for taking up space. And this young girl was smart enough to know that. She said, "No, I don't want to hear that again." I said, "Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're so smart. I should not be apologizing for taking up space. Like, I'm here." And I think that I do this a lot. Having mobility issues, being slower, not being able to take up space, like traveling within a space, it's like I apologize for being in someone's way, but I'm not in anybody's way. I'm here. And I think my body adding weight to it was saying, we're here and let's celebrate it, not apologize for it. Let's take ownership of it, not make ourselves invisible because of, like, somehow I don't deserve to take up as much space because I have, because I'm slower or I'm somehow holding someone back. It's silly. The other reason that I like that I have gained weight is that in the past, when I was super skinny growing up, I was eating McDonald's and chocolate milk and like things that don't usually line up with like how you could be healthy and be like have a really toned and healthy athletic body. I was eating not well. Again, my poor mom, she just was really trying to get me to eat something, and I just didn't have an appetite for anything really. But what I was eating was not super healthy and not conducive to having a athletic body. But I was still super slim. And then as I got older and I was doing a lot of exercise and doing a lot of toning and a lot of dancing and strength training, I would get bloated and I would look bigger and I would not even gain weight, but just be less athletic looking, which didn't line up. Like, it didn't make sense. The things that we are told that we could do to feel more athletic, feel more strong, I was doing those things and it was not making me feel strong. Having an autoimmune condition, then going through mold toxicity, like my body was not actually the result of what was going in, like the working out, the movement, healthy eating was not actually coming out as like, oh, my body is so toned and fit. But in the last couple of months, due to me just taking a break from things, also, besides having weakness in my leg, I've kind of injured my arm a bit. I have some tears in my arm. So I haven't been able to work out the way that I would before, because there are lots of things that your arms, like for me to put myself in a certain position to do certain lifts or any kind of toning or training, I need my arms. And because I've been frustrated that I can't use them, this arm especially needs to do very light little exercises, but mostly just rest. I haven't been exercising for the last few months. And now finally, the practice and the results have lined up. So for the last couple months, I have not been exercising the way that I was before. And I have been sleeping more and doing less active things. And for the last couple months, that's when I've been gaining weight. And my size has changed. My clothing size, my inches on my waist, and even up top, like my bras are tighter. Like I can see it, I can feel it, and it shows up. But I'm like, thank goodness. Finally, there's a correlation between what I am and what I'm not doing and the results. The reason this is so big for me is that now I feel more motivated that when I am working out again more, that there is a possibility and a probability that when I do it, I will see results that line up with what I'm doing. So the more that I do work out again, and the more that I am eating healthy again, and the more that I keep consistent, that I will see progressive results in a way that is what I'm looking for. I don't want to continue to gain weight, because for me, this is not my ideal weight or ideal size. I am going to be working out and I am going to build on it, but finally I can feel like I know when I do it, it's going to line up with how much I'm doing. Whereas in the past, I could do nothing and be super skinny and be super fit. And then I could be doing everything and anything to build and be consistent, and I was not getting the results that I wanted. Now I finally feel like they correlate. They can line up with each other. So I feel ironically more motivated to work out. I don't feel like, oh, I'm gaining weight and this is going to be difficult, and how am I going to change this and get back to a strength training regime, something that makes me feel good. No, I actually feel like I can take both of them together now. I'm going to be working out again to get to the place that I want to be in my size and my toning and my strength. But I'm also going to remember what it feels like to take up space while I have a few more inches and a few more pounds on me, and to know what it feels like to have an appetite. I was eating a few more, maybe pieces of chocolate cake or something with a bit more bread, which I don't usually have, but that just helped me to know where I'm at with the correlation between my body and what it takes in and the results. And I know now what it feels like to take up space. I know now what it feels like to have an appetite for food and life. And I can keep that appetite and that ability and know-how of my right to take up space, but still not need to have the pounds and the inches or the cake to satisfy that. I hope this makes sense. You know, someone on here commented that because I was showing up naked on my shower time video, and someone said, oh, they feel like they're too fat or too overweight to walk around naked. No, walk around naked because you're taking up more space, because you have more weight on you. Because honestly, when I didn't have weight on me, I just didn't feel like I was here. You're here. Like, just do it to celebrate that you're here. Like, I feel like that's what the weight has given me. It's like a reminder that I'm here. We're here. We're allowed to take up space, whatever shape, size we are, but especially feeling into what it feels like to have more weight and space, no weight and take up more space. I now feel like whatever size and shape I want to be, I can mold myself into that. But I also can say, hey, I know what it feels like to take up the space, and I'm not going to apologize anymore for going slower or taking my time or being in front of a door that suddenly opens. I'm not going to apologize because I'm just here. I'm here. I'm me. My body just wanted to remind me. I think our bodies speak to us, and I think the weight gain was just to say, hey, we're here. And we can shape ourselves however we want. And I get to decide. So I'm excited. Thanks for listening.